What's up, Mosh Mob, and welcome back to our channel. If you are unfamiliar with my work and who I am, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Mosh, and I'm a YouTuber. I appreciate you coming to check out my channel today. I appreciate you clicking on the video. Over the past few weeks, we've been doing a lot of gaming videos. We just got the Oculus Quest, so we've been looking into what that has to offer. And this is a park right by my house, right across the street actually, that I like to come and just sit and zen out to. There's grass, there's trees, there's birds chirping. It's nice. I wanted to take the time to come out today and enjoy a little bit of nature and talk to you guys about a really serious topic that has really plagued me since when I was a young kid, and I know I'm not the only one going through it. That is the topic of depression. Depression is an illness. It is a real thing that can strike anybody at any time, at any point in their life, for any reason. And there's a multitude of reasons, and I still haven't figured out my own depression. And even though I feel like I'm doing really well and I keep a positive attitude and I'm loving what I'm doing and I'm enjoying every moment of it, there are still days where I wake up and I feel hopeless, or I feel out of touch, or like things won't get better even though they are. So I've covered the topic before about my obvious facial palsy. That's it back in one of my other videos, and I'll put that link above. But yeah, life hasn't been easy for me. It definitely isn't easy for anybody. I'm not chalking up to anybody. I have it really good, but speaking on my depression and how I feel, like I said, I know people have it worse than me, and that's why I try not to complain a lot. But it's definitely a situation that I find myself in every so often, where I'm sad or depressed. That's the best way to cover it, where I feel like I'm not good enough, or maybe I'm not doing the right thing, or people could care less about what I'm doing. I guess that wouldn't bother me so much if I didn't know for a fact that I was doing good. There's a lot of situations that I find myself just helping and wanting to give, and doing that for other people is just part of who I am. Having expectations has been a real plight of my life for other people, because you can't expect anybody else to be just like you, or who you are, or what you're doing. You can't expect anybody else to understand. And me and Dee talk about this all the time, how everything is based off your own perception of what you believe, and how everybody's reality is altered in a different way. Your beliefs are altered in a different way. Even if two people have the same genuine beliefs, a little bit is going to be off about those beliefs. There's going to be, no two people are going to see eye to eye 100% of the time. And that's an acceptable fact. The fact that you can't control somebody else's beliefs or what you want them to do, that's one of the beautiful things about life, is that everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses. Everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses, and you can't expect somebody's strength and weakness to be the exact same as yours. If you can understand what you're doing wrong and where you need to fix it, then you're better off for it, instead of saying something like, I know what I'm doing and I know where I'm at and I'm perfect. Because nobody's perfect. Nobody knows where they're at. There's a guarantee there's something that you want to change about yourself, and it may not even be a bad thing. I'm not even really sure if any of this stuff I'm saying is making any sense. I know that everybody goes through their ups and downs, and not everybody's going to have good days every day. Not everybody's going to have bad days every day. If you're having a bad day today, just know you can change that within 10 minutes of yourself. Just go outside, breathe some fresh air, and get away from the environment you're in. And think about all the good stuff that has happened in your life to make you who you are. And know deep in your heart and your mind what an amazing human being you are. It makes me feel bad when people look down on themselves and they don't see the potential for greatness they have inside themselves. Because all I see is greatness when I see somebody else. I've had low self-esteem since I was a kid, and that's part of that depression thing. So I guess to me, everybody else just looks better. And I'm getting over that. I'm working through that. I'm learning to, like I said, I'm still learning to love myself and appreciate who I am as a person. But I always had the sense that everybody else was doing better than I was, if that makes any sense. Like, I never quite had it figured out, but everybody else did. And so I put all my efforts into making everybody else's dreams come true, helping everybody else, putting all my efforts. If it was helping you, I was happy. because I didn't know what I was doing. I wasn't happy because I didn't know what I was doing. So the only way for me to be happy was to join in somebody else's happiness. And then I realized that it didn't really ever make me happy. It was cool to see people happy and living their dreams, but I wasn't pursuing anything of my own. I would watch everybody else come up and be part of that happiness, but I just didn't feel whole. You know, I didn't feel like myself in those situations. It wasn't until I started doing for me, and it might even sound selfish, but it's not meant to be, but it wasn't until I started doing for me and living how I knew I should, how I wanted to, that I started becoming happy. And I spent a couple years homeless. Me and Dee had a conversation about this last night, about how my years of homelessness were still some of the happiest days of my life, because I wasn't happy sleeping in a tent. There's no way I was happy sleeping in a tent and like not knowing where my next meal was going to come from. But there was so many good vibes from being homeless and being a traveler. It opened me up to a lot of possibilities. It opened me up to a lot of people, different cultures, different races, different beliefs, and it inspired me to never give up on what I wanted to do from then on, because I knew it could happen. Anything I wanted to do could happen from that point on. If I knew I could make myself happy, and I was raised in depression. I didn't ever have it really too bad either, but I was just depressed and anxious and just bananas all the time. And at that moment when I was in California, and I'm going to stop myself right there because everybody has their own dreams and goals and everybody knows this, and nobody can tell me why they have these certain goals, and I can't even explain to you why I feel in my mind and heart that what I did in life was the right thing to do, even though to somebody else it might have been the wrong thing to do. It might have been the bad thing. Like, people tell me all the time what I did they could never do, but a lot of the times, a lot of things people do I could never bring myself to do. Like, even holding a job at Burger King, how do you do that? That is so much anxiety in my eyes. I don't like to work with people. I do, but I don't. I want to work with people in an environment where we can all work together in our own happiness, on our own skills. I don't want to work for a corporation. It's not part of that Big Brother thing. I'm not going that route. It's fine to have a job at Burger King, McDonald's. I don't find myself wanting to do that. So I kind of zoned out for a minute and forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, my beliefs have always led me to where I was going, and I always tried to live for everybody else when I was younger. I know that now. I always tried to make everybody else happy. I did things to make everybody else happy, and I wasn't happy myself, and nobody could understand it. I couldn't understand it. So how can I get anybody else to understand that? So go back to where I was saying I was homeless traveling, that I was happy homeless traveling. It wouldn't make sense to anybody but me. It wouldn't, because the memories that I have in my head, the times I had, outweigh any negativities from that point in time in my life. I had a blast. I met so many people. I was in love. I met and I learned so many different things. Like I said, different cultures, different beliefs. There is nothing that I can't open myself up to, and I think that's the difference now. I am ready to open myself up to everybody, not as my own person, but ready to know who they are as a person, and ready to take in what they have to offer and work it into what I know, because you have to discern your own beliefs with what's true and what's not. A lot of people will spread false facts, and there's a lot of truth out there, but only you can discern what's real and what's not. I guess what makes people different to opening up is coming to the realization that you both actually might be right, and you both actually might be wrong. And you have to be willing to accept that wrong status. You have to be willing to accept defeat at the hands of somebody who might know more than you. You gotta discern reality, truth, and fact from fiction for your own eyes, because you can hear for yourself many, many things, but until you know for a fact, don't take it as the truth. Always open yourself up to the fact that you were wrong, or the person who was talking to you was wrong, even if it's someone you've looked up to for a very, very long time. one of your idols could be leading you the right way for a long time, and then one day you hear them say something that doesn't quite rub you the right way, and don't just take that as a fact. Let that sit in your mind, do some research on it, and prove the facts. Do not just take them as an example from somebody else's mouth. Make sure you read all different sides of the story, and that goes with everything, every situation that goes on nowadays. People are quick to jump on the bandwagon and immediately hate somebody for anything. If life has taught me anything, is that everybody deserves a second chance, and everybody deserves a shot at forgiveness. Every single person. It's not fair for you to be able to judge who gets treated right and who doesn't. I think everybody has the opportunity to be a good person if you give them the opportunity to be that good person. It starts with believing in each other and knowing that we all want what's best for the earth and what's around us and each other. And that's the hard part, getting on that level with everybody to open them up enough to want to work together. Like I said, I just had to get out of the house today and come to the park and sit around and get some fresh air, and I figured I'd bring the camera and talk to you guys about a little bit of it and let you guys into my world a little bit and know who I am as a person. You know that I'm willing to open myself up to you guys. Any questions you have, any comments, any topics you'd like to talk to. So that was a helicopter. I definitely use YouTube as a device to get in touch with people, to try to make friends, and try to put my opinion out there and see if anybody else feels the same way I feel. See if maybe we can talk and kind of communicate and just have a good time, grow as people, and learn about each other. I think too many humans don't want to work it out. They'd rather just hate on somebody for their beliefs, and that's not right. If you can convince somebody, convince is not the word. If you can work with somebody and see eye to eye and see where they're coming from, and they open themselves up to you and see where you're coming from, that is a masterpiece. That is a work of art. But you cannot expect somebody to open up to your beliefs. Even if you open yourself up to everybody's beliefs and you're like, okay, I can kind of understand that, you can't expect anybody else to do the same for you. Some people will, and some people won't. But you can't expect anybody to walk in your shoes or see through your eyes in that moment, even if they're telling you that they understand or they comprehend. Maybe they do, maybe they do, maybe they don't, but that's not your place to judge. Not at all. You can try to explain yourself wholeheartedly to somebody, but you cannot expect them to understand. No. They might, though. They might understand. And you will never know. I will never know. You can only be responsible for what you understand and what your beliefs are. So keep that in mind next time you're trying to control somebody or have the expectations that somebody will be there for you or not be there for you. I like to think that there are good people and that you have good people around you, a good support network. I definitely have a good support network, and they're great people. They always speak up. It's like they know when I'm feeling bad, so they hit me up. And that's what made me come out and do this video today. I love all you guys for having my back and understanding depression. A lot of my friends have gone through depression. A lot of my friends go through depression. A lot of my friends have their moments. And we all have each other's back, and that's the thing. We're one big family. I shouldn't have to go through this alone. You don't have to go through this alone. I'm here. I understand, and I'm willing to understand, and I'm willing to be quiet and listen to you speak, and I'm willing to give you my feedback if you want it. I know how to be quiet, and I know how to listen, and I also know how to be knowledgeable and wise and give you good feedback. So if you ever want to talk, if anybody understands, it's me. I've dealt with it for a long time. I'm still dealing with it. I probably will never get out of it. But understand that I am happy. I'm not depressed. I have depressed moments, but I am happy. I'm happy with where I'm at. I'm happy with my living situation. I'm happy with my friends. I'm happy with my goals and my dreams. I'm happy where YouTube is going. And I'm happy to listen. So Much love for now, and I'll see you guys later. Leave some comments, leave some likes. Peace and love.